How are you?
I'm doing well. Let's see here. Heading over to Saigon Kitchen.
Yes, please. And I'm gonna add a stop if you don't mind. Surprise! Just so you can take me back there, because I'm just picking up my food. Okay, so it's gonna add like $10 to the price.
It's so frustrating. Yes, Uber screwed me on this particular trip. Um, I'll show you the numbers. I'll show you every detail behind it. And then let's talk about some solutions, or maybe not solutions. Hi, my name is Levi, and this is the Daily Drive. Today's Daily Drive is brought to you by Tonquin. With Tonquin, you deliver car parts to auto part repair shops. Tonquin's great, and it works just like any other gig app, and I recommend Tonquin. They're coming to a city near you, so go to Tonquin's website. That's tonquin.com. Tell the team at Tonquin that Levi from Tip You in the App sent you. All right, so as promised, let's run through the details of this particular trip. The upfront fare was $13.94, and that includes, by the way, the 5 minutes for the pickup, the $1.50 surge price that I got, and there's also a $1 EV bonus. So the real upfront fare was $11.44, which is great. That's good money. I accepted the trip. I was really happy about that, right? When she added this stop, you can look down at the very bottom of the screen. There's a little bit of a noise, but it says rider modified current trip. And now the price is $18.26. And that $18.26 also includes the bonuses and stuff like that. So the upfront fare actually only increased from $11.44 to $15.76. So, and you heard her say, hey, I paid $10 more for the trip. And what does that really mean when she says she paid $10 more for the trip? I went and looked, and she paid $42.19 for the trip, which means she originally paid $32.19, or probably roughly that, because she was doing math in her head. But again, her fare went up $10. My payment went from $11.44 to $15.76. To be clear, she paid 31% more, and I made 38% more than I would have originally made. So it sounds like I'm making good money. However, here's the problem. The time went from 11 minutes to drop her off to now a 21-minute trip. So my time increased 91%. I mean, if you were to include the pickup time, the total time increased 63%, and the miles went up 60%, meaning I had to do 60% more work, but I only got 31% more pay. And how does that all total out? If I were to take out my costs for the miles, the gas, the electricity, repairs, depreciation, and things like that, my margin on the trip went from $12.61 to $16.24. But if I divide that by, turn that into like a per hour wage, my per hour wage went from $47.28, good money, not complaining about that, to $37.48. So I took a 20% pay cut on the original negotiated price because she wanted to add a stop. Now, there's a couple of ways to handle this. I could have just told her no. But now Uber's putting me in the spot to negotiate. I don't get to negotiate the fare, what the price is going to change. I have no idea. When she said she's going to add a stop, it's kind of like, okay, go for it. Thankfully, she told me she was going to add a stop, because a lot of times passengers, I just see that the stop has been added. So you can imagine the frustration that we drivers have, right? It's so frustrating for you and me as a driver. And I'm not complaining about $37 an hour. I think that's still good money. And if I would have been able to negotiate that, I probably would have been happy with that. She said she was going to tip me, and she did. She gave me a $5 tip, and which is great. So I ended up making out okay on this. But this happens all the time. This isn't the first time that this happened. In fact, it happens multiple times a night where passengers get in the car and they want to change the destination. They want to change everything. And I am totally at the whim of the passenger. Let me give you another example. Last week, I accepted a trip for $11.70. It was 1.2 miles in 5 minutes. The passenger made a change. Added zero point 0.2 miles onto the trip. The trip went from 5 minutes to 10 minutes. But for whatever reason, Uber paid me total on the total fare, and that includes wait time of 82 cents. I made 82 cents there. I got $11.67. Again, and the passenger told me, hey, I paid $8 more for this. I got $0. In fact, I got a cut because I had to work more, and I got 3 cents less than I would have made. And worse, he says, hey, I'll tip you. And of course, this passenger didn't tip me. The whole reason why I have this brand called Tip You in the app is because people promise tips and don't tip. So it's extremely frustrating. It's a risk. And it might seem like small dollars here or there, but it adds up. And there's got to be a way for Uber to fix this. That's what I want to talk about. Let's talk about some solutions and what I think is the worst solution of them all. But before we do that, let me introduce you to Rideshare.tax. Rideshare.tax is your solution to file your taxes as a rideshare driver. The team at Rideshare.tax are tax pros. I met with them a few times. They're great. Amir and his team, they've been doing taxes for 25, 30 years. They're CPAs. They're really good. I think these are the kind of people that you should be working with to file your taxes. And for $125, they'll file your federal taxes. If you let them know that Levi from Tip You in the app sent you, they will actually take 10% off of that price. It's a great deal. I completely recommend it. They're going to make sure that you're going to get every single deduction that you can possibly qualify for. They're great. Rideshare.tax. That's Rideshare.tax. Check them out. Thanks. Okay, so let's talk about a solution and what I think is not a solution. A solution is kind of what we're doing right now. You and me, right? Seeing these things happen and bringing it to Uber and Lyft's attention, right? While I don't work for Uber and Lyft, I use their app and I'm like, hey, this is wrong. And there's a bunch of ways for us to do that. Here's what I did. I actually contacted Uber. As the $8 one where the passenger said he paid $8 more and he didn't tip me. I just contacted Uber and said, this is wrong. It's a customer service issue. And they paid me $5, right? Uber just gave me $5. Hey, sorry about the problem. And they did that. Another solution is maybe go to like Uber and the driver forums and stuff like that. Another solution is kind of what I'm doing here. I'm a content creator and I'm producing content to bring more awareness to other drivers and to hopefully get the attention of Uber. And Uber and Lyft have the opportunity to fix this because this is broken. This is not correct. This is not right. There's another simple solution we can do as drivers. We can stop taking added stops. That's what I'm doing. If I see an added stop, a round trip or any type of multiple stop trip, I'm just not taking them anymore. Furthermore, if the passenger says they want to add a stop, I'm just going to say no. I'm just going to reject it. And Uber, that means I'm providing poor customer service. That means I'm going to not get a tip probably. Well, I was going to get a tip anyway, but whatever. I'm going to handle this situation because the ultimate thing is if Uber continues to screw us drivers and I can't make enough money in a given night or in a given week or in a given month, I'm just going to stop driving. Uber and Lyft are going to continue to push what I think are good drivers, people like me and you. They're going to push us out of the business over dumb little things. There was a negotiated rate. If they just paid me that rate, none of this would have happened. But let me tell you what the not solution is. The solution that I think isn't the right solution. It's going to the government and saying, hey, fix this for me. Because that's what's happening right now. In our industry, there are a ton of content creators. There are a ton of other drivers. In fact, I think I'm in the minority here, the extreme minority. Let's say if there's 100 drivers in the world, 95 people want government to solve this, and 5%, me, just don't want government to get involved. I think government has a role in things like safety, protection of personal property, etc. But the government getting involved in the economic transaction, that's private. I'm an adult. I can handle it. If Uber doesn't want to pay me what I want, I can do something else. Getting the government involved is going to screw over a lot of drivers. We've seen it here in New York. We have a new minimum wage. Here's a thing that really sucks now. We've always had this thing called the Black Car Fund, which is a black hole of money. But now I have this thing called driver benefits, where I'm supposedly going to get sick time if I wanted to use it. I became an independent contractor because I don't care about sick time. I can handle that myself. I don't want to pay into a system to hopefully get that money back. So last week, I paid like 50 some odd dollars in these benefits to the Black Car Fund and to these driver benefits. And I only worked like 19 hours on Uber. If I would have worked 40 hours, we're talking like $100 a week for benefits. And then people are like, well, I need to make, I think the government should get involved to pay me this certain $1.20 per mile or whatever. And I'm like, but that's what you want as an individual. You want $1.20. I don't. I calculate my wages different. And the government, I don't even think the politicians are that smart. Have you seen who's running for president? Look at those two guys. I don't want them. I don't want any elected official in my economic life, and especially when it comes to how much I'm going to make with my employer or the company, the app that I use or whatever. It's a private business transaction. And I don't think they're capable of solving it. They're going to cause more problems than fixing things. And so the Minnesota law, I know what's going on there. I'm not going to get too far into the details. And I know there's a lot of people that I like, people that I trust, that are championing what Minnesota, the Minneapolis City Council is doing, and are upset with the mayor veto. And I get all that. And all I'm asking you is take control and ownership of your own life. That's what I'm trying to do. We are humans born with free will. We live in a country that kind of allows us to exercise that free will. And when we ask politicians or unionizers, lawyers, trying to get the government to all fix our economic problems, it's just going to cause more problems. That doesn't defend, again, you saw, I'm ticked off at what Uber did. And Lyft has done some dumb things too. But I'm an adult. I can handle it. I can go to those companies and try to solve it. That's kind of what this is all about. So on a very small scale, yeah, I got screwed. It's a thing that you and I are aware of. On a big scale, try to solve it between you and the app, Uber and Lyft, or whoever else you're working with. And I just encourage you to not look to the government to solve it, because they're not capable. They're really, truly just not capable. And so with all good intentions aside, because I think there are people with good intentions trying to help, that's not the right solution, at least not in my opinion. What is your opinion? And so before we get into your opinion, one quick shout out to Voom Rideshare Insurance. They're great. If you are a rideshare driver and you're looking to actually lower your insurance costs, check out Voom. Voom is in a few states. They're expanding to every single state in the nation, but right now they're in Tennessee, Arizona, and Colorado. I think they're expanding to Nevada here in the next week or so. Voom, that's Voom, Rideshare Insurance. Check them out and let the team at Voom know that Levi from Tip You in the App sent you. Okay, so yeah, it's frustrating for me to get screwed by Uber and Lyft, and it's even more frustrating to have this overpowering burden of a government coming down telling me, hey, we're going to solve everything for you. Because at the end of the day, Uber and Lyft are still going to get theirs with the government getting involved. And you know who else is going to get theirs? The lawyers, the union organizers. They're all going to get theirs. It's me and you as drivers, even the passengers. We're the ones that are going to get screwed by some sort of dumb, ineffectual policy regulation that's going to talk about pay. It's going to affect our pay. What do you think? I know I'm in the minority. I'm really passionate about this. Let me have it in the comments. I'll come back at you. We'll debate it. Tell me I'm wrong. Prove to me I'm wrong. Show me how a minimum wage, a minimum fare is actually going to solve things. And I'm open. I'm open to it. I wish you the best. I still want to focus more on the fun things of rideshare. Real quickly on a personal note, I did share to the group that my wife had a heart issue. She's healthy. She has a defibrillator put into her chest. The reason why I created this community is for you and me to connect. And sometimes we're not going to agree on every issue. Maybe you agree with me on this one or not, but my wife is healthy, and I told you something bad had happened, and I want to make sure that you know she's home, safe, and she's getting the recovery and the medicine that she needs. And that's why I created this community, so I can bond with some fellow drivers about life. And that's it. I wish you the very best. I'm cheering for you. Be well. Bye.